All right, the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks did a lot of retaining their own guys, but then added a couple key guys, I think, rotation players. So big deal first was Kristaps Porzingis' full max contract. We always knew that was coming when they made that trade based off everything they gave up for him. They extended Dwight Powell. That one's a little more controversial, I guess, a little confusing. They gave Powell a pretty good contract extension there, about $33 million or so in guaranteed money. Then Maxi Kleba got a full 4-year contract, team option at the end of that. Dorian Finney-Smith got a 3-year deal coming off of what was his best season for about $12 million or so. And then they went out and went shopping on the free agent market, added Seth Curry, second round with Dallas, if I am correct. 4-year deal for him, about $32 million. Then they went and got DeLon Wright, restricted free agent. They ended up working a sign and trade with the Memphis Grizzlies to get him, and he got about $27 million or so in that range. Declining deal for Wright. And then Boban was their kind of last big addition at about $7 million or so, and he'll come in there and probably be the backup 5-man. And then they also brought back JJ Barea, and Dallas is, oddly enough, they had been the team that was sitting there with, a ton of cap space, and everybody was kind of wondering what they're doing. Well, they actually ended up staying as an over the cap team. So they took right into the massive trade exception that they had for Harrison Barnes. That's how they acquired him. And then everybody else is going to be acquired with various chunks of other exceptions. So the non-taxpayer, and then the other guys are their own free agents. So they're using the bird rights for those guys. So Dallas, kind of a complicated off-season summer here, but it looks like it's wrapping up for them. And did okay. I think their fans hoped for more and didn't really get it.
Dallas seems to be that team that's always looked at as a possible option for a lot of the top free agents out there, and they just never seem to land that guy. So I guess with that, through that lens, going all in after Porzingis makes a lot more sense, since they haven't been a major landing spot for the top free agents lately. I do like the Seth Curry signing, though. I think that's going to be a really nice fit around Doncic. I mean, he was in the, I believe, 98th or 99th percentile as a spot-up shooter on Synergy. I mean, this is elite level spot-up shooting. There's a lot of other things he can't do, but in terms of floor spacing, you're not going to find many guys out there that were better than what Seth Curry can bring.
No, absolutely. And I think him and Wright are going to be a really nice offense-defense combo. I'm curious to see how they start games. I wouldn't be surprised if Curry starts with Doncic being the primary ball handler, and then Wright comes in, and then Wright takes over the ball handling. He's probably the better, as I said, defensive option there. And I thought they got really good values on both Kleba and Finney-Smith. I think those are two guys that are pretty good players, and I think they did all right with those two. So I think that's also really important to consider here. So, the only move I don't love for them is the Powell extension, because I just don't think he's a great fit alongside Porzingis. But, it is what it is. And now we're starting to hear a little bit of spin. I think you started to reference it a little, is Porzingis was really their off-season acquisition. They just made it at the trade deadline and blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, but you still could have had, 20, 30 million to spend and, didn't. But, they're going to be okay. I think they'll be in the mix in the West. It's, probably the best they can do at this point.
Yeah, and look, they've got another season here for Doncic to grow alongside Porzingis. And if those two really pop, and Porzingis already has, if he can stay healthy, and those two can really form a formidable duo, then I think they're going to be looked at as a more attractive landing spot next summer, and they could be using that mid-level exception to go after some players there in what's going to be, though, an admittedly thinner free agent market next summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep an eye on Courtney Lee, $12.7 million expiring contract that they could definitely use in season to bring in some help. Hardaway, he's got a player option for next year at about $19 million. So I'm going to assume he's going to pick that up, but we'll see. But yeah, so interesting move still that Dallas could make as the season unfolds.